Hey everybody, welcome back to the next video. I was trying to think about what I wanted the second video to be, and obviously I'm still in quarantine as at this point. And I've been finding it really hard to stay positive and stay motivated to do something. So I got an idea while I was watching Funny Enough Draw with Jazza. He did a customizing of like those masks that everybody's wearing, obviously now to avoid getting sick. And it kind of gave me the idea that creativity can happen anywhere, even in horrible situations like this. So I thought it would be kind of fun and creative to put the middle finger to this situation and to this virus. And I decided that what we're going to be working on today is actually going to be a scorpion mask from Mortal Kombat. We're going to make it out of foam with some cloth. So it's obviously not going to be an actual functional and protective mask, but it'll just be something that's kind of fun. I'm not leaving the house, so I don't actually need a mask or anything like that. I'm staying home and staying happy. So, but for anybody out there who is looking for a fun project to work on during these odd times, I figured something like this could be kind of fun. I'm going to make this from foam and cloth, and what I've got here is I have a design that I made personally, and basically I was looking at the classic Scorpion mask for some inspiration, as well as Mortal Kombat 9. A couple things to make a relatively simple mask, but also make it very recognizable as Scorpion and something that looks cool. So this is what I came up with. I'll go ahead and see if you can get kind of a zoomed in view here. So I think it's simple but effective, and I think it'll be relatively easy to make. It should be relatively quick to make also. So if you're looking for a quick project while you're at home, I'm going to do this with everything that I have literally in this room. So that means no power tools, no Dremel, nothing like that. The only thing that I have is a heat gun. That's basically the most advanced that I'm getting in terms of tools. Everything else is going to stay relatively simple. I'm going to be sealing this with PVA glue, so Elmer's glue that I have right here in this room. Just going to paste that over the whole thing. It should get it a nice finish. I'll have to let it dry a decent amount of time and cure. And then we'll paint it with some acrylic paints and stuff like that. Like I said, I'm not going super crazy with this. I'm just looking for a fun project to keep the spirits up in this relatively hard time for everybody. So, you know, keep spirits up, keep happy, keep working, keep moving, and most importantly, stay creative. Alright, so what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and grab some of the materials that we're going to be using. I'm going to make up some templates, and then I'll come back, we'll start tracing out the templates, cut out the pattern, and then we can start gluing everything together. But I'm going to get everything ready, and we'll get rolling on this. Alrighty, so we've gone ahead, we've cut out all of the pieces, so the next step is to grab the heat gun and start to form these pieces, and then from there we can begin to glue it, seal it, paint it, all the fun stuff. We've got the bulk of the hard work done, which in total is taking me about 15 minutes, so guys, seriously, 15 minutes and one sheet of this foam here, and you can have something that's simple, fun, easy. So I highly, highly recommend doing something simple and fun like this, because honestly it's a great way to kill time and it's really just fun to do. So like I said, can't recommend it enough, but for now I'm going to grab the heat gun and we're going to go ahead and start forming these pieces to get them to form more organically around my face, and then we can go ahead and start gluing these guys up. So I'm going to grab the heat gun and then we can get going on that right now. Alrighty, so we've gone ahead, we've glued up the whole mask here, and we've put it through a second heat form. Now, because of the rigidity of the foam that I'm using being as thin as it doesn't quite hold its shape the way that I'm hoping it would. So what I'm thinking about doing right now, at least through the phase of sealing it, is I'm going to go ahead and put in some supports on the inside of this mouthpiece right here, just to hold it in the final shape that I want until I can get the cloth in there. And so basically what that means is I'm going to put just one little support beam right here in the middle, about here and here. I'm going to glue that in, and then I'm actually going to go ahead and just glue a piece of foam on the inside of these two panels here, and that's going to remain final. I was toying around with the idea of potentially putting fabric in there as well, but I think at the end of the day it'll actually look a little bit cooler if I just put the foam in there. I'm probably going to go ahead and try to texture it a bit so it's got just a little bit more of a dynamic shape to it than the rest of the mask, especially with how simple of a design this is. I think that'll really add just a little extra something to it. And then from there, we'll go ahead and start to seal this guy. Like I said, we're going to be using Elmer's glue. We're just going to paint that on really liberally, and that should really thicken it up and make it nice and hard and ready for paint. And like I said, for paint, I'm just going to be using some acrylic paints. I'm actually going to try to get it to go on pretty heavy and pretty thick, because I kind of want some streaks in there, because then when I go over it with like a black wash, it should really fill into those cracks and have this really cool, almost ceramic look to it, which I think will be kind of neat and should work pretty well for the aesthetic that I'm going for with this mask. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and start making the foam for the insides of the cheeks, add the support in the bottom of the chin here, and then you'll have a nice little time lapse of that plus the Elmer's glue coat going over the whole thing. I'm probably going to go ahead and do 2 to 3 coats of that just so it gets really nice and rigid, and that should really help it accept the paint and also help it hold its form. From there, then we'll go ahead and add in the buckles, paint it, all that fun stuff, and then we'll add in the fabric for the front. So I'm going to go ahead and get going on that right now and get ready for a time lapse. Alrighty, so I went ahead and glued in the other cheek as well. As you can see, those details really pop out pretty nicely and they stand out very, very well. That'll only help too when I actually go to paint this, because I can really hit that highlight when the rest of this is yellow. That stark contrast will really help pull this piece out. But yeah, as far as shape of everything, I'm actually pretty happy with it. The only gripe that I have is that I wish I would have done the eye shape slightly differently. It's not exactly what my original vision was. The eye here comes down just a little too low and is actually touching the bridge of the nose on the mask itself, which was something that I didn't originally plan on. I don't think it looks bad, but it almost looks a little too Nightwing from Batman for my taste. So you can see, obviously you still have to put in the mouthpiece here, but it's coming together. I'm actually pretty okay with it. We'll start adding in the strapping and everything as soon as this guy is all sealed and painted. So like I said, that's the next step. I'm going to go ahead and paint this guy up with a couple coats of Elmer's glue. Just really get this guy sealed up nicely so that we can get a nice coat of paint on it without it looking cheap. And then from there we can move on to some weathering, some finer detail paints, and yeah, we should have a really nice final product when all is said and done on this guy. But for now, that's where we're at. I'm going to go ahead and grab the glue, bring it back in, I'll show you the process. Like I said, it's super simple. You're just going to paint it on like you would any normal acrylic paint. You're going to want to take special care about washing the brush though. It is washable glue, so you can get it out, but you just want to get it out before it really dries up. So you still got it kind of wet, just run it under a faucet, hot water, all that good stuff. You should be fine. But yeah, so I'm going to go grab that. I'll be right back, and we'll have another nice time lapse for you. Alright, so I went ahead and jumped ahead a bit. As you can see, I've gone ahead and dry fit the fabric in there. And basically what I did is I just grabbed the fabric of choice and put a couple of decorative folds in there, and then I glued it down with a standard hot glue gun here. And then in the back, just to get it that kind of curved shape, I don't know if that's really picking up on camera super well, but there's sort of a rounded curved shape on the inside, and to do that I just went ahead and glued in some wire, almost to work like an armature wire for the fabric. So you could do that with wire if you got it, but hell, if you even have paper clips, that would work too. So now you can see everything's all fit in here. I'm going to go ahead and glue everything down so that this is final. Next step after that would be to go ahead and add in the straps, and then this guy should be wrapping up pretty quick here, guys. So like I said, I'm going to go ahead and glue in that fabric right now, and then I'll start working on those straps. And for the straps, I actually found this buckle right here. It's a little bit screwed up here, but basically I'm going to cut a couple more pieces of fabric, the same fabric that I used there, because it's a nice soft but stretchy fabric, so it should be pretty comfortable to wear. And then I'm just going to go ahead and glue on two pieces, one about here, and then run it to the back to run into this guy, and this will be my connector for the back piece. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. Get ready for some glue. Alright, so as you can see, we've got the finished mask here, wearing it. As you can see, it was a super simple project. Probably all in total took me about 2 hours, 2 sheets of foam, a couple acrylic paints, all things that you probably have at home right now. So this is the perfect project for quarantine. Super simple, guys. Seriously, can't stress that enough. Anybody can make this. It just takes a bit of time, a couple materials. You don't even have to use all of the materials I used. I used barge cement for most of the gluing here. You can use hot glue for all of it. It works just the same. It's all about preference and what you have available to you at the moment. But that being said, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. I'll have another video uploaded very soon. Like I said, I'm still in quarantine, so I got plenty of time, nothing better to do. So a lot of crafting, a lot of cosplay, a lot of art, all that stuff. Gonna drop right here so you guys can watch all of it. And remember, for the time being, this mask will help you combat boredom, combat coronavirus, and until next time, guys, just remember,
stay over there.